In Premiere, I ran into this problem with the Ultra Key effect that you drag and drop. The green screen is supposed to be easily kind of removed by just using the beaker and pressing on the green screen itself. There was conflicting issues that kept happening. So there was two different greens. The lamp behind was getting picked up. It was flowing and filling into the background of it. How did I figure out an alternative? I had to make my own mask in this TV screen served as my green screen. For both of these two shots, I made two individual masks. First wide shot, I built the first mask. You zoom in, and the more points you put, the more accurate this mask will be. After that, I just played around with the feathering and just made it as close to realistic as possible where it didn't bleed out and it fit the frame of the TV. For this one, the mask itself, and once it was completed, that's kind of all I needed for this wide shot. The more close-up shot, in the beginning, there's a pan in, but the same process follows. I used the pen tool to create this mask over my TV screen, but there's a problem. Because the shot is moving in, the screen itself coming larger and larger, so that mask has to do the same. That mask itself needs to expand as we're zooming into the shot. So the first thing to do after you create that mask, tracking the mask's path. And Premiere can do that on its own pretty well. You just hit first kind of play/frame tool, and then effectively throughout the whole clip to be the path of the masks to be. Remember I was talking about it needs to expand. It has a good tool underneath the feathering as well as mask expansion. We need to put our own individual keyframes as it's getting larger and larger and larger. This one is a little bit tedious. You go frame by frame, increase it where it needs to be increased, the alternative decrease it where it needs to be decreased, and add your keyframes one by one. It can get very tedious. You can go frame by frame depending on how fast it goes, how complex it is. The more keyframes you add, the more accurate, better it's going to look. So the more time you can spend on it, the better it will look, essentially. Other than that, that was the only difference between these two shots, and everything else was kind of the same.